kids will get dropped off from the buses, and we'll kind of dismiss. We'll kind of be our hub for getting started. A couple of the different locations, just different trails. The pond study, which is actually the lake study. It's not really a pond. So we try to pack as much as we can into the 2 days, actually the day and a half. So you will be tired, your students will be tired by the first day. They're going to be ready to go to sleep. We try to keep everything as active as we possibly can, so that does happen. First thing, when your students leave Ann Mason, they will be bused to the environmental camp for North Central. They will unload. They will either eat lunch or go to the cabins to unload their stuff, come back and eat lunch, do an orientation, and then dismiss for the classes. They will rotate with their class. So again, they will be familiar with their classmates. It makes it a little bit easier that way. We will do a number of different classes that first day, and then the second day we do another rotation of classes. You will eat lunch, your school lunch, and I think that we'll have the teachers talk to you about the school lunch or bring your lunch option. So the first meal we have is not the camp's meal. It'll be either the school or something you bring for them. We will have, again, rotations of classes. After the rotation of classes, we'll eat dinner. Dinner is one of those meals that we do have at camp. I actually forgot to bring what you all would be having, but we'll just say it's going to be a surprise.
Oh, I know it.
There we go. She's going to ruin the surprise.
For breakfast, you are having biscuits, scrambled eggs, sausage, and gravy. You are having for lunch pepperoni pizza, corn, brownie, and peaches. For dinner, chicken strips, mac and cheese, green beans, a roll, and cake. And then for a snack, you get a cookie.
All right, so the important thing about the menu is, so I know that you had to list any food allergies. I relate that to the school or to the camp. The allergies that we are able to accommodate, we can do gluten-free, red dye. We are 100% peanut-free anyway, so no peanuts at all. Any of the cooking products that we have. And then also we can accommodate vegetarian. We do have a salad bar at every meal except for breakfast. And so you'll have that option. Plus, one of the options is pepperoni pizza. The vegetarian option for that would be cheese pizza. So there are those options. So you need to relay that information to your teachers so they can give that to me so I can tell the camp. If you have a food allergy that was not listed with what I just said, and it is a little bit more severe, or they can't eat any of the things that you just heard, then what we do is we will have to work with you with bringing food. And we can talk about that at the end. If you have that concern, you can come talk to me. We'll talk about how to accomplish that. In the evening, we do evening activities. The 3 bigger activities that we do. We have the Kentucky Reptile Zoo come in. They bring some critters. They show you. It's to the whole group. And it's really a lot of fun because you get to see quite a bit of a variety of critters. So it's a lot of fun. We will have s'mores. So we gather around a campfire, we do s'mores, and we'll go on a night hike. So after we get you sugared up, we'll take a hike. And then we go to bed. Okay, so we kind of time that perfectly. Then lights out. So when we say lights out, it is lights out. Go to bed. The volunteers that are going to be in the cabin will definitely be tired. You may not be tired, but your volunteers will be tired, and they're going to want to get their sleep. So out of respect for them, when we say lights out, we say lights out. A couple of different classes again. And some of these we may or may not have on the list, but we'll go through them. The campfire area, it is a brand new campfire area. It's very beautiful in my opinion. It was something that was built by the former maintenance man who passed away. That was kind of his legacy. So it is a brand new fire ring, and it accommodates the whole group. So we can all gather around the campfire and just have that time to kind of bond. And really, with the environmental camp program, the I've heard it said best by the teachers that this is the best bonding experience for these students. So really, we want to end on a good bonding note in the evening. So that is really what we kind of strive for here at the end. This is an example of something you'll see at the Kentucky Reptile Zoo. They'll kind of present everything to the entire class. Again, there's the fire ring and the daylight shelter house. That's kind of like our hub. And then another example of the class. That's one that I teach is rocketry. So the other thing that we want to kind of teach, other than environmental lessons, is how to clean up after yourself. So all the students in here actually will be assigned, well, I shouldn't say all of them, but randomly we will assign certain groups of students to help clean up after each meal. So there's 3 different meals that we will eat, and there will be 3 different times that we'll ask or assign a certain group to clean up. We call it kitchen party, KPD, kitchen party. Basically this room here is the tray washing room. By breakfast on the second day, we have arguments to see who's going to be a part of the kitchen party cleanup. Because they see it the first time and they want to do it. So this young lady is actually kind of almost in the sink, so it kind of it becomes fun. And so it is monitored by an adult, but I think the adult he left for a minute, so that one, there'll be somebody in there. And then another group will be assigned to actually sweep up and clean up. So if you don't know how to use a broom now, you will learn how to use a broom by the time you get home from environmental camp. So parents, they will know how to do that, so you can put them to work now after that. And wash down tables. Another couple of examples of classrooms. Like I said, we may not have these for the environmental camp that you're going to, but these are also examples of classes that we do at summer camp. So this is another example of the pond study. We actually get to see microinvertebrates in the actual lake and see how healthy it is. This is the Kentucky cabin. We talk about Kentucky history, so you kind of get a chance to go in the cabin. We talk a little bit about the time back in that time period. Owl pellets. We will do owl pellets, I think, in this group, and then also pond study down here is another example. Schedule for the day 2, we do wake up, rise and shine is at 7, breakfast is at 7:30. We're not going to be late for breakfast, so you get your energy for the remainder of the day. So we will have another set of rotations. We'll do lunch, after lunch, clean up, and then get on the buses and come back to Ann Mason. That's kind of how the schedule will go for the 2 days or day and a half. A couple more examples of classrooms. Entomology, we will have a UK professor from entomology department come down with some insects, and you'll actually get to interact with that. And then animal furs is another one, and that's soils there, but I don't think we're doing soil. Okay, so for cabins, this is always the bigger questions that you as parents have from me. You want to know that your students are going to be safe and what kind of sleeping conditions they're going to have. So the cabins for boys are the newer cabins. They're the newest built cabins. Girls are they've been renovated. They have a new roof and siding on them. But as far as inside, they've not really been updated. That doesn't mean they're in bad condition. The girls' cabins are actually a little bit bigger than the boys'. They do hold more. You can see the numbers there. There will be the adult volunteers will stay in the cabins with the campers or the students to just make sure that everyone's going to bed and everything's doing okay and no one's messing with anything they're not supposed to mess with. Each student will have their own bed. They are bunk beds. The top bunk, it is, I've always referred to it as impossible to roll out, but I was informed by a parent that not in this group, but in the past years, that their student was a very vicious roller, and she was worried about even them rolling out of it. And I said, it's never happened. So I'll show you what they look like in just a second. We'll go back to that one. These are the bunk beds. They do have a solid rail around the top bunk, so they are solid. They are not removable. They are permanently attached to the bed. The beds are a memory foam mattress bed with a covering on them. So we'll talk about packing this in just a second. But this is an example right here to your right of the boys' cabin, and to your left, the girls' cabin. That's an old picture. I'm going to show you a new picture in just a second. So the bunk beds are really nice. The mattresses are really comfortable. And we're going to talk real quick about what to pack. So for the day and a half, you don't need to pack a lot. You're not going away for a week. Okay? We don't need to worry about bringing towels and shower gear because we're not going to take a shower. That's not something that we really need to do. You will get to brush your teeth. You'll bring deodorant and stuff like that to mask if there is a smell. But the showers are not necessary for that day and a half. You will bring bedding. So I will give you one tip. If you're going to bring sheets, they are extra long twin. It's a twin sheet, but it's extra long. The best thing that I have found is that if you just bring the top sheet of a twin spread, and then you have a sleeping bag. So those coverings on the twin beds are a little bit slippery. So if you have a sleeping bag, and you do move around a lot when you sleep, it is kind of noisy, and it is easily lost my word there. They'll slip around a little bit. So something that an agent had told me that was a good idea is put down a sheet and then just sleep on top of the sheet with your sleeping bag, and then you won't move around as much. You will need to bring pillows, and I think we're doing the garbage bag packing method. So you will pack everything into a garbage bag, put a piece of tape on that garbage bag with your
and we'll provide the garbage bag, and we'll provide the tape. And we'll give an extra garbage bag for when your child rips them open and needs to put things back in them. So we'll provide all of the garbage bag, the tape to sort it, and all that fun stuff.
It makes it a lot easier. The one thing that I will recommend to all of you as parents is please let the student or the camper, I'll refer to them as campers, please pack with them. Let them know what their things look like. In the summertime, when I have our with parents for summer camp, a lot of times we'll have clothing left over, and it's because they don't know what their stuff looks like. We get an enormous amount of swimming trunks and underwear and socks because they don't know how to tell the difference between somebody else's and theirs, and because they didn't pack. So please pack with them. Let them know that this is what your shirt looks like. This is what your pants look like. This is what your socks, your underwear, all this stuff. Please let them know, and so that they can visually see what they're missing when they go to pack up the next morning. Unfortunately, we have so many groups coming in and out for environmental camp. We're not the only school that uses it. We're not the only county that uses it. So as we are leaving, there will be another group coming in. There's not a lot of turnaround time when the maintenance crew go in as we're at breakfast. So we'll have everything packed up and everything loaded before breakfast. When they go in while we're at breakfast, they're going to throw everything into a pile that is left and basically put it on the lost and found. If no one claims it, then it all goes to the Goodwill at the end of the year or at the end of the season. Okay? So if it is left, I cannot guarantee you that it will come back, or I can get it back. Okay? So please make sure no valuables, nothing that's sentimental. If your child sleeps with a stuffed animal and that helps them sleep, that is fine. Please bring that. I encourage that. But please make sure that they are responsible enough to put that in their bag and pack it up, because I don't want them to have their time ruined if it gets left or lost. Okay? So please make sure you force that on them, that they need to be responsible and pack that. No cell phones, iPad, iPod, or any other electronic device. This is a time for you to be outdoors and away from electronics, so we don't have that stuff involved in our experience for that day and a half. Long pants, long sleeve shirt, and short sleeve shirts. Pack an extra day, is what I say. So if we are doing a class near the pond or near the lake, sometimes accidents of slipping in happen, and I do that because they like to they test the waters basically. and we do have some that will slip in or step in, and so we want to make sure that they're not walking around with wet clothing all day, so we will have to change. So if they only packed enough to get them through the day and a half, then they're going to have to wear what they wore there, and that's not comfortable either. So make sure you pack one extra higher set of clothes. Toothbrush, toothpaste, other toiletries they might need, but there is no showers, like I said. No sentimental belongings needed, no money, no cash. If you like to read before you go to bed, don't bring a Kindle, bring a paperback book, that's fine. And then no flashlights. Flashlights are not needed. Parents or the volunteers and adults can bring flashlights, but there are times when we allow the flashlights, but then they become a nuisance, and so we're not going to do the flashlights anymore. For the luggage, these are for the volunteers that are going to camp. In the past, we have been able to do or drive a little bit further onto campus. Can't do that anymore. So what we're going to do is that the teachers will assign one volunteer per cabin to drive that luggage for that cabin to the cabin. Everyone else, when you are following the buses, when you come into camp, you will see on the left-hand side a parking lot. It's a gravel parking lot. If you have not been assigned to a cabin of the entire luggage, not your luggage, but the camper's luggage for that cabin, then you must immediately park. We cannot, as far as a safety concern, at this point, have any more cars than the ones who are assigned to that cabin on actual campgrounds. We had an issue in last year with this. It is very much a concern. There will be a school there as we come in. So it is kind of like it's a very structured orchestra of getting everyone in and everyone out. And there will be campers walking around on campus already. And we do not want a lot of cars to be around campus. So it makes it a lot easier if we assign one volunteer for that cabin to haul that luggage. Now, if you were assigned that cabin the next day or the next morning, you can go get your vehicle, come down to the cabin, load up that cabin, go back and park. It is a little bit of a walk, but as far as the walking distance compared to the safety issues that we had last year, not with this school, but with another county, we've got to do it that way. So, as you come into camp, there will be a sign that says parking of some sort to the left. It is a gravel parking lot. It is before the big gate that opens up. There's a house to the right. Directly across is the parking lot. If you are not assigned that cabin, you park immediately and you can walk up to camp. Okay? You shouldn't have a lot of luggage. You don't need to pack a whole lot. Okay. Another picture of the cabins. This is down here. This is the boys. This is the girls' cabin. That's a new roof on the girls' cabin. The boys are all located right around each other. That way, a lot of times the boys will play on this blacktop whenever they have cabin time. Okay. How the volunteers will help. So you will be assigned a cabin. You will be in that cabin. You will rotate with him through classes. And also we will ask you to help out with all 3 meals. There will be a couple of stations that need extra help. The salad bar area is the one that needs the most help because sometimes the kids can't reach over and actually get the salad, so we will have to have some help with that. And also there is another table that will have, we call it the options table, and usually it has desserts, and so we have everything kind of portioned out so the adults will help with that station or those 2 stations. So, I know you're going to volunteer. We ask that you do just a few things, and we really appreciate that. Please know that we cannot do that without you. So if you're not there as a volunteer, then this kind of program could not happen. Okay, we talked about parking. I put parking in there several times because we've had a lot of issues in the past, so I just want to make sure to reiterate, if you're not assigned that cabin, park immediately, then you can walk up to the shelter house. Medications, I put this on there just to make sure teachers have explained to you how to do the medications on the computers. I think they're back there. So make sure you do that before you leave. And what I want to do now is open it up to questions. So if you have any questions about packing, what to pack, what not to pack, where they're staying, any questions at all, please ask them that.
There won't be any kind of boating on this little lake at all.
There will not be, no. They do. They have heating and air conditioning. They are preset. I will say this, they are preset, so they cannot be adjusted unless I get notified, and I can get the controller and actually control it from there. But the adults and the campers cannot control it. It would have to be a camp staff person.
If, say, a child got sick, and you need to notify the parent or whatever, do you have access to those phone numbers?
The teachers will be there at all times. They have access to all of their numbers and all emergency contacts. If, in case of emergency, the closest hospital is Bourbon County. I will let you know that the EMS services there have a extremely fast response time. They are just right down the road from the campgrounds. They know the campgrounds very well, so it's a really quick response time, and to get to Bourbon County Hospital, it doesn't take them any time at all. Now we'll do bypass. Any questions on what to pack?
Are we gonna get another printout?
Another printout package.
Do you need another copy? We have more copies down here if you need another copy.
Please just make sure they don't wear their best clothing. I mean, we will be walking around, walking to and from the lake. There'll be different activities, so it will be, pretty active time. So I hope, we hope it doesn't rain or anything like that. But you might want to pack something just in case. But like I said, the only extra things that you should pack will be one full set of clothes.
Extra pair of shoes?
If you can do an extra pair of shoes, that would be excellent, just in case. Please, and speaking of shoes, make sure that they're wearing comfortable shoes, no flip-flops, no sandals. It does need to be a close-toed shoe and a comfortable shoe. They will be walking on both blacktop, gravel, and on just natural trails.
Okay, I'll jump in, and if you guys have any questions afterwards, you can go ahead. Lunch the first day, our school is completely free lunch, so I thought it might be easy if everybody just kind of take advantage of the sack lunch that we provide. If you'd rather your child have something different, you can pack your own child's lunch. Everything here is peanut free, just like always. It'll most likely be like one of their it's like a peanut-free peanut butter and jelly option, or like a ham sandwich. If you want to pack your own, just make sure it's in a disposable bag. Otherwise, they're going to lug around a lunchbox with them the whole time. If they want to bring a water bottle, they can bring a water bottle, but again, they'll have to keep up with that while they're there. Packing, like you said, we're going to give large, heavy-duty garbage bags. We'll identify them. Go ahead and write your child's name on them. When they get to school, we're going to put a specific color tape on them that goes with their cabin. That way, the volunteers will know what cabin to take it to. We will give them an extra bag because, when they get to camp and they're excited, they rip them open and then they don't have a bag to take their clothes home in. We learned that last year. But thankfully, we did have some extra bags. We will give you a heads up with weather and stuff the day before. April is kind of hit and miss. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's freezing cold. We'll let you know, even if it rains, we're still going. There's no rain date or anything. We'll just buy a 99-cent poncho and head out.
And there are plan Bs for so any outdoor activities we will try to do indoors.
I'm gonna reiterate the no technology. Anytime I bring that up in class, I get a bunch of moans and groans from all the kids. But this is like a great time to just be outside and enjoy it, and to not have your face in a phone. So it's really a good, it's a good time. And when they get there, they really kind of forget that they have it up anyways.
And I will speak to this too, the volunteers that are going, that you can have your phone, you can have your electronics, whatever you need, but it would be encouraged to not use them in front of the campers, in front of the students. If you do smoke or any sort of tobacco products at all, there is a designated area for that the campers cannot go to. Campers cannot go with you to do any of that.
There is a link that your child's teacher should have posted on Dojo. If you do not have class Dojo, your teacher will be sending home a form that just lets us know if your child needs to take any medication, if they have any allergies, and then also what t-shirt size they wear. This year in our cost, we included a t-shirt. Normally cost of the trip was $40, and I think it was it 15? I think that's what, 15? But anyways, we included the cost of a t-shirt in that as well. So it was a really great deal. So we just need your child's t-shirt size. If you haven't filled that out on Dojo, we have Chromebooks open at the end. It takes just like 3 minutes if you can fill that out. On the back of your packing, yes.
Are they gonna change the t-shirts here, or
Ooh.
is this?
Good question. So day of, if you could have them wear their camping shirt. And then following day, wear their Ann Mason shirt that they were given at the beginning of the year. If they can't find that shirt,
It's a yellow shirt.
it's a yellow shirt. If they can't find that yellow shirt, just wear any kind of yellow shirt or any Ann Mason shirt.
So
That way we can easily identify that kid that's running down the hill away
so
from
they'll get their
buses.
shirts prior to leaving, one will wear that shirt that day, and Ann Mason shirt the second day.
Camping shirt day 1, yellow shirt day 2. And we'll send that out too, because I didn't think about that until just now. I think Ms. Conley did, but I did not.
I'm sorry, you said something about medication.
Yes.
If we have medication in the nurse's office, we still need to provide an additional one, or we should just take what
We'll take what's in the nurse, yeah. There is an itinerary on the back of your packing list. That's just kind of a rundown of what we're going to be doing. The classes are not typed out on there yet, but those will be filled with classes that they will be taking. There's some really awesome classes that they'll be doing. Rocketry was one of them, Pond Study if it's not muddy, Animal Furs, Bird Blind. There was a lot of different ones, but they're really cool. Then, let's see, what else? I think that's basically all I have to say. So, lunch, we'll do, school lunch would be awesome and be easy for everybody. But if you want to pack your own kid's lunch, disposable bag, that's about it. We'll send out all these reminders the week, or probably the Monday prior to camp, so it's all fresh and new as well. Yes.
Is 11:45 lights out a typo? If they're in if they're in the cabin for an hour and 15 minutes, but no showers?
Oh, that's the following day, that's day 2.
No, 11:45 lights out. They return at 10:30 and lights out are an hour and 15 minutes later.
Oh, well, we figured as far as getting there at 10:30, they're gonna kind of brush their teeth, change their pajamas, so, I mean, as soon as, it can really be to the discretion of the volunteer.
And we've had some volunteers say, no, they came back and they were so tired we went to bed as soon as they came back. And then we had more lax volunteers say, man, we stayed up and told ghost stories and everything, and it was 11:45. So, and sometimes it's not always initiated by the volunteer, and that's what I'm gonna pull the volunteers back and talk about afterwards, just kind of their guidelines and things. The kids aren't running the shows, we want them to have fun, but when it's lights out, it's lights out. Other kids need to sleep, volunteers need to sleep. So if they're hooting and hollering, we need to make sure that everybody else is getting theirs taken as well.
And it's important to know that the students don't get the schedules, the volunteers get the schedules, so it's not like. But for example, I did this for one school, and I put on their, exact times, and they took me very literally, and we had a lot of kids got really upset because they didn't have enough time to change their pajamas and brush their teeth. So the volunteer was very strict on lights out, and they took me very literally. And so I've stretched that enough time to where we give them enough time to get their stuff necessary to get ready.
And camp has a really natural flow. It's really not so cut into certain pieces, if you just kind of go, and it's, I don't remember ever being in the cabin that late.
Right.
But, that's what we'll talk about with the volunteers. Are there any questions before I just have the volunteers meet me for like 5 minutes real quick? Any other questions? And if you guys have questions, my email is on the original paperwork. I'm not sure if it's on there right now, on that one, but it's in one. If you want it, it is Caitlin.McFarland. Is it anybody writing that on the video? Nobody writing that on. All right. Message your child's teacher on Dojo, and then they will ask me or they will answer you. The volunteers, if I could get you at this front table, and then anybody else, if you have questions, Dojo us, let us know. We recorded part of it because I forgot to press start in the beginning. But part of it's recorded. You feel free to watch it again if you want to. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell them that after. Go ahead.